And for anime, I've been watching a lot of slop isekai. Isekai slop.
Oh boy.
Like for example,
All right.
I'm gonna keep this short. I'm like a red ranger in another world.
Okay.
So it's just like a red ranger from Power Ranger, like Super Sentai, and he died and got sent to another to world where there's magic and things like that, and he still have the power to transform. Everybody like, what the fuck, you know? And he can like summon the big mecha, and everybody like in the magical world with knights and mage, and they're like, what the fuck? What is that? Why is it there? You know? And so that's kind of funny.
Do you have opinions about solo leveling?
Yeah, I do.
Have you seen solo leveling?
I've seen the first
season.
I did not watch the second season, but instead, because at the time the second season wasn't out yet, after I watched the first season, I just went immediately to the webcomic.
And then you read the rest.
And I read the rest, except maybe I'm missing maybe like 4 chapters. Like it already ended, but I couldn't stop. I couldn't continue.
Okay.
Oh, I couldn't finish it.
I couldn't finish it.
Wow.
Like,
what are your opinions
my
on
opinions.
solo leveling?
It's addictive to read.
Mm-hmm.
Addictive to watch, but I don't love it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a huge problem with the main character being too OP.
Mm-hmm.
But
as advertised on the tin, right? They tell you on the box that's what this is.
no, maybe it's not too OP. It's not just that. He's perfect in every way. He has the perfect body. He's fucking handsome. He's getting all the chicks.
So-
And he's fucking rich, super intelligent. All his plan is perfect.
Yeah.
Like there's no hardship.
Yeah.
There's no he has never like it's.
But doesn't it feel good if you pretend that that's you, right? That's like, it's like,
But that's,
I know, right? That's the whole point.
But that's
The whole point of the thing is existing is like, but just pretend it's you and it feels good though.
No.
He's the hottest and the strongest and he doesn't scared of nothing. And no one can stop him and he wins all the time forever. Look at him. And then he starts out being kind of like nerdy and geeky and like a loser.
Yeah.
But then he gets taller and hotter. And,
Yeah.
and
even his sister was like, "Oh my god, when did you get this hot body?"
Right. And like literally the like it's the One Punch Man bit without the like irony or the self-awareness. It's just fully just committing to it. And
Yeah.
like the whatchamacallit, when he the Japanese name of the series is Only I Can Level Up.
Okay.
Right,
Oh.
so it puts the intention out there more. Solo leveling is an English term for what you do in an MMO when you're doing all that, right? But yeah, Only I Can Level Up is what the name of it is in Korean rather. So it's much more like clearly selfish, you know, in its title. And-
Obviously, it's like you said, it's on purpose. That's the point. But so I think, and that's why I don't know how to say this. That's why it bothers me so much.
it is empty carbs. You will fill up on your McDonald's, and you'll read it, you'll watch it, and you'll get through the end of it going, "Yep, I ate a meal," right? Because that's the thing is, so I've watched both seasons of the show. I haven't seen anything past, or read anything past that. It is just like, there's nothing personality-wise happening with the character. And then that's your only choice. So Reggie, imagine if you would, a world where, as we're describing, you have your perfect specimen, self-insert, Mary Sue, the greatest Kirito ever. You're the best and strongest and hottest and everybody loves you, okay? Now, if for some reason you were like, well, who else is there in the cast, right? What other supporting characters are there? And you look at like anything in a sort of shonen genre of like, you know, with cool like action and stuff like that, and you'd almost always have like, hey, if you don't want this main character, check out this cool supporting cast, right? Check out all the classmates. They all have their own abilities and they all do cool stuff.
Okay.
What show am I talking about? Pick one, right? Whether you want it to be Jujutsu Kaisen, fucking every anime ever, right? Like the classmates are all also cool and do their own things.
So you get
and you might be like, I like that guy actually. In this, they don't even bother to flesh out anyone else in any meaningful way. They're all just in orbit of this main dude. And like, it's almost like you've heard of like the Bechdel test of like, it's basically like, it refers to like the author of this comic, from back in the day, Bechdel, who basically is like, do you have anywhere in your story, are there two women that talk about something that is not a man anywhere in the story at any point, or whenever two women are talking, they're just talking about some dude, perhaps the main character, right? And so you're almost like, this is a fucking like solo leveling test of just all other characters exist to talk about this main character when he's not on screen, you know? Yeah. And like, they're not designed as individuals, but as accessories.
Yeah, okay. It's just like
so weird.
Like the kids in the sports anime that just like know the tech about the players. Like, you know, Prince of Tennis, there's like these two little shits that are like, like this kind of characters, but it's just girls that are talking about the guys.
Okay.
Okay.
It's so weird to watch a world that like the main character getting more powerful is the whole point of the world. But even if he wasn't, it's already just geared to be around him, you know? And
it's solo leveling is actually a great name for it, actually. Yeah, now I think about it.
You know, and like, yeah, there's parts of the show where like the world stops and he goes into an instance to just go on his own adventure. And like life stops existing because he's in an instance.
Okay.
And then he resumes the world, you know? And then on top of that, like and here's the thing too, is like with all of that, you get these moments of like, oh, there's a really cool looking fight that happens, right? The conclusion, the finale of season 1 is really hype. It's a really cool action scene where he's going through a bunch of like fantasy sort of, because the premise is essentially like, it's not taking place in an isekai. It's not in a video game. It's real life, but real life has video game things happening in it. So in real life, suddenly portals exist where you go into it, and a dungeon with goblins and dragons is in there.
Okay.
And you've got to go beat it for the portal to go away. Otherwise, they all come out and attack the world. Right?
Okay.
So that's kind of the deal. And so even though it's taking place in the real world or whatever, you still have all those like, you know, main tropes that it's going through and stuff. And he's the only one that can see a HUD or a UI to like whatever this invisible video game is, you know? Yeah, and it just like so that you have him going through this kind of like fantasy sort of setting and like going through all these like, you know, as I'm describing your typical sort of, you know how like a lot of visual novel like MMO stuff, isekai stuff is kind of like imagining an online version of Dragon Quest. I feel like that's what they're doing, right? There's always a default setting that is like, it's Dragon Quest, but it's also an MMO.
It's actually a trope now, huh?
Right.
Like there's always solo leveling is not the only one that does it, but there's a lot now there's a lot of manga and manhwa that has like the main character has been reincarnated with S rank tier ability. He's always like, but everybody sees him like, oh, he's the weakest one, but he has got kicked out of the party. But actually, because he got kicked out, now he has revealed that he is actually super strong.
Right. And so, but like but the main thing is that like the things in the world, the specific types of creatures and things and setting things happening are Dragon Quest-y style things, slimes and goblins and so on.
Fantasy world.
Fantasy world.
Fantasy medieval.
Right, but not every fantasy has a slime in it, right? I feel like when you see that, you're like, oh, you're specifically doing DQ, right? But, you know, I guess, so whatever, I'm not going to fully spoil if you ever wanted to watch it, because I know you enjoy, like, diving into Sometimes you want some carbs, right?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look twice at Solo Level.
Oh, okay. It doesn't pass the Berserk 2016 threshold.
It doesn't come from something good that went wrong. It's not even. There's no.
It's not enough of a car.
It's
crash.
actually taken seriously. It's not War of the Worlds. Like, what the heck happened? There's no. Yeah.
So basically, like, while that is the setting that and this fantasy stuff that's kind of happening, there's a moment where things get more like Dark Souls.
Okay.
And an extremely Dark Souls-esque section of the story plays out as if the genre went from Dragon Quest Online to DS,
Okay.
And it was like, oh fuck, that's really cool. And you can't, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna front. That was the coolest shit. That was dope as fuck. Right. And it's the big climax of season 1 type of thing. And then it comes back and kind of leaves that alone and then goes back to what it was for season 2. And then kind of just continues being, and then you get your sort of your season 2 big conflict is, I don't really know much about Greed Island or rather not Greed Island. I don't know anything about the Chimera Ant arc.
It's just,
I don't know anything about that.
I like the Chimera arc in Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I watched Solo Leveling, I'm like, what the fuck? It's just like a copy paste.
I don't know anything about the Chimera Ant arc, but I know Cell. And I know what the Cell arc is. And I'm like, yeah, we're just doing a lesser, uninteresting version of that, And it sucks because it's the big build up, but the last season had a way more interesting one that had an effect on your McDonald's Happy Meal. So it's so you going in, you can enjoy it as long as you know what you're in for and it's empty fucking carbs, right? But if you want to see the cool fight that takes place, then yeah, get your nuggies, dip them in the sweet and sour sauce. You know what that tastes like. It'll be fine.
Well, I get back to actually now that we talked about this. Now I realize what I don't like about Solo Leveling. It's not about the fact that he's OP. It's the fact that everybody else are irrelevant.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
They don't exist. It's just him. He's doing everything. He's perfect at everything. He never made any mistake. He's the most intelligent person.
Yeah.
That's
The
kinda
most
weak.
strongest.
And
Yeah.
and here's the thing is, right, whatever little previously described whatever little previously described contrarian parts of me exist, where I'm kind of I like seeing or seeing a world and going okay, well, that's your main character, that's nice, but I don't like Leonardo, he's not my favorite. Right, I don't like the Red Ranger. He's not my favorite.
Yeah.
I like the other characters. I want to see what they're doing. I like Rowan of the Strata in Samurai in Ronin Warriors, right? So all this to say, when I'm reading Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm like, main character is pretty cool. I like him. That's dope. He's not my favorite, right? There's so many cool supporting characters in that show that you could really enjoy, especially in the season 2 Shibuya arc that are that pay off for being a fan of this supporting character. If you like a fucking cool dude that does boogie woogie clapping, then you're going to get a really cool fight with that supporting character, like the Rock Lee of this sort of setting. Liking that character pays off, right? If you like the big milfy kind of axe wielding, tall chick who's tough, being a fan of her pays off. And everyone who's a supporting character here gets their moment where you can be like, fuck, that's cool. Even the ones that I'm like, are you the Sakura of this setting? Are you kind of just like the Oribe, you're just gonna hang out and actually you're interesting, you're doing stuff, that's fucking sick.
Okay.
Cool. And you easily could have put them as you're the third classmate, sort of dismissible character. But no, they give a fuck about their supporting characters and give them a lot. And you get not even a hint of that in this, you know? No love for the supporting cast whatsoever. I get the feeling of any show that has like a tournament arc that you're almost presenting a character select screen, and here it's like every box is grayed out. Like this is Street Fighter 1, man. What the fuck you think you're doing? You know? These exist to be different from you, and that's it. Not to be interesting or at all fleshed out. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad we arrived at the same conclusion there.
Oh yeah, that's okay. All right. I was afraid because when you asked me what's my opinion, I'm like, are we gonna have a clash here or not?
No.
I don't think that was possible.
Yeah. Empty calories, you know? And that is a pet peeve I have in things too, where like protagonist energy is like it's not just plot armor, but it's like when the protagonist is so much the focus that like no one else shines or really exists. Everyone is just a reflection of them, and there's always going to be an emphasis on them, but it always feels worse when the protagonist is like not as compelling, you know, than like the people around them or so. And I think a big standout example I've given over the years is part 5 of JoJo, right? Golden Wind is like a great example of like, damn, you're the least interesting part of your gang. You know, the rest of the group are way cooler than you, and everybody wants to know more about them and hang out with them more than you. And that sucks because your legacy should be incredible. You know? Yeah,
that's an interesting angle to see like, hey, like Bruno's so cool, Naranja's so cool, all these other characters. And you're like, Giorno, all right, I guess he's going through the story. Yeah.
And I'm like, I should be popping off like crazy for the son of Dio. And instead, you're kind of like just watching them go through it, you know? And then I got that feeling from Jolene. I was like, oh, Jolene's cool.
Yeah.
You're another example of like legacy character, but you got your own shit going on that I like, you know? She's weird and and like she's cocky, but like she fucks up and she's stupid and you know, she makes these terrible decisions, but she's still noble. You know, you've got all the like brave Joe, like the brave noble Joestar like heart with you, but you're also really dumb in a lot of ways. And yeah, you know, you're just like, yeah, I enjoyed her as a protagonist, you know? Yeah. I don't know if there are other things that come to mind where you can where you have like a main character that is like just too much of the author's favorite, you know?
I do have one, but this one I actually like it.
Okay.
So I forgot the name of the manga, so I will have to describe it. It's a hero party, and they defeat the demon king and in the party, and then he got betrayed by his own kingdom, and his best friend he got betrayed and got killed, and then which is another typical trope on manga. But then after he was resurrected, his only motivation is just to revenge, but not just killing them. He wants to do an eye for an eye. That's his revenge type. So if somebody is a bad guy and he kills some villager, then he will making them hungry.
Shield Hero?
No. I watched Shield Hero too, but it's not the same because Shield Hero is not a revenge story anymore.
Redo of Healer?
No, it's not a healer. It's really he wants revenge so hard that he will get revenge on everybody, the princess, his best friend, so the whole rest of the party, and then revenge on the gods, because he thinks that the gods allow these people to be alive, so he get revenge on the
God of War.
Yes, the God of War, Hades,
yeah.
and then also the goddess who resurrect him. he got revenge on her too, and like on everything. And he's super. It's like he's strong, but it's not the point about him being strong. It's about the cruelty of him
getting his revenge.
The satisfaction of the revenge of getting everybody. So.
Yeah. It's so you know what a Mary Sue is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. It really does scream self-insert in these types of settings where like it's almost like the version of a story that you think of when you're in the high school cafeteria at recess, right? When you're like not making the homie fighter, but like the solo adventure for Euro C. Like all you think of primarily is all the cool shit that they do and the cool fights they'd have, and you have no reason for a setting or a world to exist. You just have a string of big moments in your head that attach to each other, and it kind of feels like these are stories that the person then kind of like, I don't know, graduates, gets older, and gets the ability to tell the story, but you're still in that place. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you have a pretty cool high school idea that you ride all the way through and then you make, I don't know, like Scott Pilgrim or something like that, where you're like, oh, this is a fun, crazy, quirky thing that I've never seen before. But sometimes you're like, oh yeah, it's the same thing I played with when I was playing with my toys, and I never really fleshed out anything beyond just like, wouldn't it be cool if I had the ability to do this and to do that and to chuny my way through this setting with my eye patch of secret power, and when I don't make me take my eye patch off because then it glows red, and when it glows red, your soul is mine. You know?
Min, is it the Dark Massacre of the Vengeful Hero?
Like I said, I
couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you, but I feel like that's it. I feel like that might be it. Like it sounds like the closest thing. It's because the whole thing is just revenge. It's nothing else. It's just revenge.
Reggie, what's your worst Mary Sue slop garbage?
Self-insert stuff?
Yeah. Or just like the story that only cares about the main character and nothing else. The world stops existing when like off panel.
I can't even like think of an example. Actually, it's one of my weaknesses.
Okay.
Yeah. All these questions, I'm like, fuck. What is your favorite work that has this in it? I'm like, I can't pull information out like that. But self-insert? I think everybody else doesn't matter.
I think it's just like, it's like, you know, like stories or so where like, yeah, like I was describing, it feels as if when the main character's not on the screen, everyone should be asking, where's the main character? You know? Or like people are just sitting around like this, twiddling their thumbs, waiting for the main character to show up again. You know?
Or all the characters are watching what the main character is doing. Like Kirito from Sword Art Online.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's
that's where that name comes from.
Yeah.
Okay. I know nothing of Sword Art Online. Yeah.
Yeah, he's another one of the protagonists who's good at everything, and everybody's relying on him, and all the girls are falling for him.
I feel like that work, Sword Art Online, was like, I feel like there was like a revival of anime that I missed, and everybody was like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. And then there's a lot of hate that came to balance that.
Look, you just had to be you had to be young, and it had to be one of your first animes.
Yeah, okay.
Well, hold on. I liked it. I wasn't young.
Okay.
But it wasn't my first. But I started liking it, and then halfway through season 1, I started hating it.
Okay, but I'm talking about people who are not having this energy about it. I'm talking about people who are coming into it going, fuck guts, there's only one black swordsman.
Bro.
Right? Wearing shirts with Kirito sitting on it going, there's a place for me in hell. It's called a throne. Okay?
Bro.
This is what I'm saying. These are people where you're like, yeah, we get it. We all had our first show. This is the first time you've watched a thing. You haven't seen things before. It's blowing your mind. We get it.
I see.
Yes, that. Nah, man. Like it 100% scrapes against that. I've obviously done the bit a million times, but like the things I hate about Gundam Seed, a lot of it is how untouchably perfect the main character is. Right? Jesus Christ can do no wrong. and just like shows up to it's more than just plot armor, like plot fucking absolute Kekkei Genkai, like absolute territory boundary, what's it called? Plot domain expansion. Like you are all in my world, actually. It's exhausting and boring and uninteresting to read. And at that point you're like, just sell me the toys. Just sell me the toys, Just fucking do a little spin around and then show it doing cool action poses and tell me where I can go buy it at master grade, Anyway, that stuff just doesn't fucking, it doesn't work unless I guess you're being comedic or silly or self-aware about it,